The World Championships of Warhammer is finally done, and this video is going to give you a full review so that you can become the best possible Warhammer player as possible. So I've got a bunch of footage that I'm going to show you that's going to be like talking about the actual games themselves. And then afterwards, what I'm going to do is I'm going to break down exactly how my list operated, and I'm going to show you all the changes that I may make and why they might make. I'm going to talk about how to run the list, and if the list was great, hence it was amazing, and all the things that you need to do to be super successful. So stay tuned for all of that. Cheers. Okay, so we have here 2,000 points of the Darkest of Angels. So we are playing Wrath of the Rock, and I don't need to hold anything back from you guys, so here we go. The list consists of not that many units. It is 11 independent units that get to do things. So we will have one unit of Deathwing Knights with a Ancient and Terminator armor who will give them a turn 1 deep strike. The enhancement does not allow a turn 1 rapid ingress. It is only a turn 1 deep strike. We're going to have Azrael and the 6 Inner Circle Companions, and they're going to be hanging out just wrecking fools and being way more durable than people are going to expect them to be. I'm going to have a second unit of Deathwing Knights who are just going to be disposable and irrationally tough, because that's what they do. I'm going to have one Lieutenant with Combi Weapon who's going to be an annoying little pissant. We've got a Lion L. Johnson, who is absolutely amazing, and he is totally incredible, so just check this bad man out. And we'll talk about what he does when I do how the list actually operated. I've got one squad of scouts. I've got one Gladiator Lancer. Now, this is going to be a pick that's going to surprise a lot of people, because a lot of people know that I don't like only one shooting unit. But this serves a very specific purpose in this army, and I'm excited to break him down and see if he does what I think he's going to be doing. One Calidus, because she is goated. She did lose her weave, so I'll have to find that so I can get that thing glued back on. I've got one squad of Desolation Marines, and these guys are another goated choice in Wrath of the Rock. The +2 strength on their weapons is an animal, and I'm really excited for people to find out that Desolation Marines are still good. One squad of Plasma Inceptors, and then finally we've got the Lone Impulsor. So this is the army. You guys, through Magic, are about to see me play 8 rounds of Warhammer 40,000. But before you do, I want to give a quick shout out to a member of my Discord who goes by A-Kraut, and he made me a pretty sick freaking model. So what he did is he designed in the new Captain with Thunderhammer model in Death Company colors for me, and he knows that I hate pointy ears, so he magnetized the elf with the Thunderhammer to show the elf being annihilated. So just wanted to give a quick shout out to him for making me this model. I'm actually going to post his Instagram down below if you want to check out some of his stuff. It's pretty awesome, and he does great work. But anyway, guys, this is 2,000 points, Wrath of the Rock. This is my World Championships list, and you're going to see all the games, and then we'll be right back with a full list review talking about what it did, how the individual units are actually played, and changes that we may need to make. So stay tuned for that. Walking into the opening of the World Championships of Warhammer 40,000 right now. I'm going to let you guys see how many people are in here. It's getting loud because we got the opening ceremony going on. There are tons of people in here, all the beautiful Canadian lads, all the Americans, and it's about to get loud, so I'm going to cut it off here. But I'm freaking pumped to get the day started. Okay, so round number 1 against Mr. Sam. What's up, baby? What's the name of your team?
Ballers on a budget.
Tons on a budget, baby. So he has the Virant Victorum Death Guard against the Dark Angels. So we're going to see how this goes. This is Purge the Foe on Hammer and Anvil. I got the Willies. Sam has the Willies. And we're going to have a blast of a freaking game. We'll be back to let you know how this works out at the end. All right, buddy. Good luck.
Thank you.
All right. So the tail of the tape. The Dark Angels had some secrets, and we kept those secrets. And
people, I was not able to pry them away from you.
And so we did get the Death Guard in round 1. Basically, we had a turn where he had to go full send, and he didn't pass the stat check. Sam, lovely playing you. Really enjoyed you.
I had a great time.
All right, man. Blessings. Hope you have a great time the rest of the tournament.
You too.
Cheers. And I'm here with Mr. Fritz. Hey, what's up, baby? So Fritz is an amazing player. He's been playing 40k for 18 years, like the legend he is. We have the Star Shatter Arsenal. We got a triple DDA Star Shatter Arsenal list playing against the Fury of the Dark Angels. So we're going to see how this game goes. I'm really interested and excited to see how it's going to work out for us. So best of luck to you. Let's play great Warhammer. Should we do a dice off on stream? Should we do a live dice off?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, I'm going to steal one of yours, okay? Here, I'm going to roll it here. All right, buddy. Best of luck to you.
Cheers to you.
Okay, end of round 2 with Mr. Fritz. Beautiful, man. We had a barn burner. It was crazy close. It ended up like, I think it was like 63 to 56. For the Dark Angels, we kept our secrets. We had our secrets. It basically came down to, could I kill Wraith? And I managed to do it in this game. Fritz, thank you so much for the game. It was a blast. This is the first time ever playing, but I appreciate it so much.
It was nice. Yeah.
All right, buddy. Best of luck for the rest of the tournament.
You're a great player. Yeah.
Thanks, dude. I appreciate you, man.
Luck.
I appreciate you. You as well. All right, we are here for round number 3 of the World Championships. I have Garrett. Say hello, Garrett.
Hey, what's up?
Garrett is a member of GEM, City Warden Gaming, and he's a pimp, and he's playing the Skitarii Hunter cohort. We are on Terraform, GW2, Crucible of Battle. I'm glad he doesn't have a ton of shooting. He definitely has more shooting than people think he has, but I'm glad it's not crazy shooting, but I'm intimidated by how many units he has to complete the Terraform action. So we're going to see who wins the game, and he's finishing round up, and we're going to have a blast, and I'll get you guys updated after the round. All right, so that's the end of round number 3. Mr. Garrett does take the round. He got 79-76. This game down to Garrett played a really good game. I made a poor decision. People might think it was dice. It was not dice. It was a bad decision. I went for a 7-inch charge on the Lion instead of choosing to go for an easy charge and with a pile-in. That's on me, and Garrett was a beautiful opponent, and I had a blast with him. So 3-point victory for him. I hope you don't have to do a shadow round, because that would suck.
Yeah, it would suck.
I hope you just win.
Yeah, easy. Hopefully we just win.
Just win.
Yeah, just win.
All right, man.
Hope the bear down loses.
Crush it.
Have fun.
Have a great rest of your tournament. Really appreciate it. All right, bud.
And 9.
All right, battle round number 4. I am playing Mr. Donovan, who has one of the coolest looks of anyone I've ever met. He's running the Banisters Grey Knights. He is going first on Scorched Earth Tipping Point. So you can see all of his glory. He's arraying. I actually love this Road Trader unit with redeploys. I think it's a really cool piece of tech. And we have the Dark Angels arrayed as usual. So we're going to see how this game goes. Best of luck to you, sir.
Thank you, thank you.
And the winner is Mr. Donovan with the Banisters Grey Knights, showing up hot. I'm not entirely sure where the game went wrong. Donovan just beat the shit out of me. So it was 90-47. I'm gonna have to do some reflection. I really don't know where I went wrong. I had some bad dice rolls, but I don't think that is what did it, right? I'm gonna have to figure out where I went wrong. Great game. Thanks for being an awesome opponent, and I hope you have a lot of blessed luck in the rest of the game or the tournament.
Happy crumping, guys.
Hey, cheers, buddy. Okay, so for round number 5, we have the Dark Angels arrayed on Search and Destroy, Hidden Supplies. We're playing against the veterans of the Long War, Chaos Space Marines. Now, I don't know who's the loyalist here.
Clearly I am.
Honestly, it could be you. I don't know if it's the Dark
Fallen
Angels.
out there, look, they're not even in green.
I've got all these
must be
secrets.
traders.
So Max is my opponent. He's a lovely man, and we're gonna have a great game. I am going first, so I'm about to draw cards, and we'll see how it goes. Best of luck to you, buddy.
Good luck.
Just slightly less luck than me. This much less. All right, guys. We'll be back at the end of the game.
You went first, right?
Yeah. All right, I am here with Mr. and Max. Max is the victor, 79-70. Congratulations. This was a barn burner. It came down to the last turn. I'm actually really, really proud of my last turn move.
Absolute banger,
Like-
man. He played me very well after.
Yeah, so that was a really, really great match. This was a really funny one because both Max and I played good games. I had one critical error earlier, and then Max made a critical error later, which allowed me to get back into it.
Yep.
So this was actually a crazy amount of fun. I had a blast with you, and I hope you have a lot of success for the rest of the tournament.
Thank you. I hope you have some too.
All right, man. We're into round number 6, the dreaded round, the sweeping engagements on supply drop, GW3. Playing Mr. Devin. Hello, Mr. Devin.
Hello.
So it is the Dark Angels against the Star Shatter Arsenal with lots of DDAs on this map. I did go first, 0 secondaries. It's not looking great, but I'm excited to play this guy with his big smile. We love him, and we're going to have a good game. So I hope that you have a great game, my guy. Best of luck to you. Cheers. All right, end of the game. It is 82-42 for the Dark Angels. Thank you, Devin, for a fun match. This was a tale of Deathwing Knights just said, I don't die. And sometimes that happens.
Yep.
Yeah. So basically, that's it. So we are 3-3. We'll be going to the next game. I appreciate all you for hanging out with us. Devin, I appreciate you for being a great opponent and being a good sport. And with that, we'll see you guys next round. Round number 7. The Dark Angels are here, and we're playing against Necrons again. Only this time, it's the Awakened Dynasty with triple Psychomancers. I'm actually terrified. I haven't played against it. It scares me. Mr. Walton, you scare me.
I should scare you. I'm scary.
So looking forward to this. This is Take and Hold, Hammer and Anvil, GW1, round number 7.
we're going to see who's the goodest dice roller, and we'll catch up with you guys at the end of the match. Best of luck to you, buddy.
Thank you.
All right, end of the game. So it was a Dark Angels victory. It was a 90 to 50, 93 to 50. Walter was an amazing opponent. He taught me a lot about the Psychomancers. Deathwing Knights just be Deathwing Knights sometimes. And it was a little bit brutal. So we had a big smash in round 2. Awesome opponent, awesome match. So we're going to see if I can go positive for the weekend in the next round. Best of luck to you, buddy. Have a good one.
Thank you, sir. Good luck.
And we're here for the last round of the tournament. I'm here with Mr. Carson, the legend himself. We got the Sisters of Battle, the Hallowed Martyrs, against the Dark Angels. This is Crucible of Battle, Scorched Earth GW1. Unfortunately, Mr. Carson gets to go first. I always like to go first, but it is what it is, and I'm excited to see what he's got for me. He's got a pretty okay draw turn 1. Let's get into the battle. We'll be back at the end. Best of luck to you, Carson. Have a good game. Okay, and for the last round against Mr. Carson, the legend himself, we did end with the Dark Angels victory. It was 58 to 73, the Dark Angels. Basically came down to Deathwing Knights are awesome. That's more or less what it came down to. The Lion actually went down super easy due to actually a really good play from Carson. But Deathwing Knights were definitely the chads here. Actually, the direct line of sight Desolation Marines were also total chads here.
Completely destroyed me.
Dude,
it was bad.
I know people hate them, but I think they're amazing. So anyway, I appreciate you. Great job at your first Warhammer World Championship. This was an awesome experience.
Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to break down the list, how it operated, what the units did, and why the unit needs to either stay the same, why the army either needs to stay the same or change into something new. So let's go through it. First of all, I'm just going to show you exactly what the list does and what it's designed to do, and I'm going to talk about why it does it super, super well. So let's just go to a different screen. We're on TTS. This is effectively what the list does. It really doesn't matter what the matchup is. What I do is, and this is assuming, this is like what happens if I go first. If I go second, it's very similar, but it's just slightly different. Basically what I do is I put the Deathwing Knights on the table in a aggressive position, not a ludicrous position, but a aggressive position. Basically right from right here, your opponent is going to have to cross this red line if they want to shoot these Deathwing Knights at all. And I can probably make it a little bit more extreme if I wanted to. So I can, yeah, actually I can make that a little bit more extreme. So they're going to have to pay past this red line if they want to see these Deathwing Knights, if they want to actually end up shooting at them. And we can just scoot them to make it a little bit, whatever, it doesn't matter. So what this does is it means that they will be exposed to my Lancer when my Lancer comes out to shoot whatever they expose to shoot the Deathwing Knights with. And there's not that many units that could just shoot the Deathwing Knights and be happy about it. Currently, I've got OC 10 sitting on this objective. I can make it OC 18 just by positioning a little more intelligently. And your opponent can't approach their natural expansion without touching it, which means they can't hold their natural expansion without killing a full squad of Deathwing Knights. If they do position to kill Deathwing Knights, you could rapidly ingress the Lion there to make a charge useless and impossible. Or you could just allow them to shoot with, I don't know, like a DDA, a Rogue Adorn. It doesn't matter. They're not killing a squad of Deathwing Knights with it. They're going to have to put multiple units down here to actually deal with those Deathwing Knights. And if they do units that are that valuable, you can either rapid ingress the Lion here, or you can rapid ingress the Lion here. Meaning they basically don't want to put anything valuable here, which means they can't deal with the Deathwing Knights, which means they can't stop it, right? On the other side, you're going to have a big squad of ICC that are basically hanging out right here, and they're going to have this entire objective covered with their Leonine Aggression aura, the 6-inch aura of being able to charge at the end of your opponent's charge phase. And this is basically going to be unassailable. If your opponent is moving something valuable to charge into ICC, you rapid ingress the Lion, you deal with it. If they're doing on both places, you just choose which one you want to save. Deathwing Knights are generally pretty tough enough to durably, they're generally tough enough to handle whatever wants to charge them. ICC are also generally tough enough to handle whatever wants to charge them. It's kind of like a win-win no matter what you do, which is pretty freaking awesome. If no one moves in to charge them, you can always rapid ingress the Lion into the center and grab some free primary because he will have loan up from the scouts and or the Deathwing Knights that are hanging out here. Now, if he overwhelms this flame, you then attend with the Deathwing Knights. And you're basically going to rinse and repeat this exact process on every single map. It'll be slightly different, of course, based off of how the maps are. But if you follow this exact game plan, this army is more or less unstoppable unless you do like what I did, which is have some stupid user errors, which that can happen. So I'm going to talk about some of those stupid user errors, and I'm going to talk about how following the game plan can help you avoid them if you're, smarter than I am and you actually stick to the game plan. So let's go back to the list. I'm going to talk about some of the list right now, and then I'll talk about some of the matchups that were a little bit problematic for us. So through the magic of video editing, here we are. Boom, we did it. All right, so guys,
the list I showed you at the beginning of the game, and the lion is his entire purpose in this army is to make sure that he will rapid ingress to be in that annoying place that your opponent is not wanting him to be. He's going to be right next to the Deathwing Knights or the ICC if you're moving in for a charge. He's going to be in a weird pocket where you can't see him if no one's charging, and he's just going to be there to advance and charge and kill a Death Star unit that your opponent is not ready for. Now, I will say one thing that I learned about the Lion over the course of this weekend is that you cannot lose the Lion in turn 2. You have to keep him at least until round 3. So in my 5th match, I ended up losing by 9 points. It was actually came down to the last dice roll of the game. If I rolled a 4 up, I was going to win. If I rolled a 1 through 3, my opponent was going to win, and I rolled a 3. It was an awesome matchup against Mr. Max, I believe his name was. He was running a Veterans of the Long War. The reason why I was put in that position is because I dedicated the Lion in turn 2, which was a big mistake. I should have just let him hang back and put him out in turn 3. Had I done everything else exactly the same without using the Lion in turn 2, the game was basically over. So that was a good lesson about how to use the Lion. That wasn't me not sticking to my game plan. I did stick to my game plan. I was just a little bit too aggressive with one model in particular, and he's so vital to how the army functions that you can't lose him in battle round 2. You have to wait until battle round 3. Had I lost him in battle round 3, no problems. So Lion, huge, awesome, amazing. Keep him around at least until battle round 3, though. Let's talk about Azrael. Azrael and the ICC. Many times, Azrael and the ICC actually ended up being more durable than the Deathwing Knights, because when you stack the -1 to be hit that they always have, with the -1 to be wounded from the detachment rule, with the 4-up invulnerable save, and the once per game 4-up Field of Pain, suddenly you have a unit that is such a headache to deal with. It is just nerf on top of nerf on top of nerf to your opponent's offensive profiles, and then they hit like a freaking freight train. As a matter of fact, this is the only unit in the game that can really just go delete something. So when you have Oath of Moment on this unit, these guys will pick up a big knight, which is a very, very big deal. So they were amazing. I was also very impressed by Azrael's shooting, which I guess I had never really considered just how strong his shooting is. It's 3 shots, well, 2 shots, but it's rapid fire, so you tend to get 3 shots out of it. Hits on 2s, sustain on 6s, because he gives sustain hits to his unit. And that's strength 8, AP3 damage 2, but it's anti-infantry 4-up dev wounds, which means he is the bane of existence of a lot of different armies, which is very, very interesting. So I was really impressed by how much shooting the army actually has, especially when you get to fish for those sweet, sweet 6-up sustains. So when you combine his shooting and say like a unit of plasma and scepter shootings, you've got some incredibly powerful and good anti-elite infantry shooting that will absolutely punish your opponent in ways that they were not expecting it. Ancient Terminator armor, like I said, we're always looking for that turn 1 deep strike, because you just put them there, it forces a huge response from your opponents, and your opponents are very rarely going to be in a position where they can respond appropriately. If they can't respond appropriately, you still got to play good Warhammer. Like, you don't want them to be out in front of an entire army's worth of shooting. The Desolation Marines were actually probably the kings of the entire game. So here's what they did. They're 200 points, and I know a lot of people think they're overpriced. They have no AP, blah, 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 blah. But what they do in Wrath of the Rock, you're going to spend 1 CP to give them +2 strength. So now they're wounding infantry and elf models on 2s with their Castellan launchers. Those Castellan launchers will be ignoring cover because you're not going to be moving, meaning if it's a 4-up armor save, it's actually a 4-up armor save. It's not going to be a 3-up, which means that you do kill a severe amount of units. You tend to stack them with the Combi Lieutenant's reroll 1s to wound ability that he puts on one of the objectives. So if you're going into an army that you know is going to be assaulting your army, you're probably going to put it on your natural. If you're going into an army that you know you're going to be assaulting their natural expansion, you're probably going to put it on their natural expansion. But the big key to the Desolation Marines is that you never try to get more value out of them than what they can give you. So don't go trying to kill a 200-point unit with them. It's a bad choice. Go kill the 60-point trash. Kill the 75-point trash. If you kill that every single turn, what happens is suddenly you never have to trade a unit to destroy your opponent's trash. So if you were playing against an army like Eldar, which unfortunately I wasn't able to run into because this army was made as a hard counter for Eldar, but if they put their Rangers out on an objective, I don't have to dedicate a unit of Deathwing Knights to go kill them. I don't have to dedicate like a unit of Interceptor Circle Companions to go kill them. I'll just kill them, and my opponent is then like, well, crap, I have to put another trash unit up there now to hold the objective, which I will then kill without actually ever giving my opponents any trades. So that's what the Desolation Marines did. They were so clutch and so incredible. Plasma Inceptors did 3 things for me over the course of the battle. So, one, they were amazing anti-elite shooting. So, if they needed to drop down and delete a unit of Scorpex, great. If they need to drop down and just ruin a 3-man squad of Sanguinary Guard, fantastic. Another thing that they are really, really good at doing is they actually hunt vehicles, because you can always give them +2 strength, and that will make them hunt like Eldar vehicles really well. So suddenly they are wounding like Wave Serpents or Falcons on 3s instead of 5s with Twin Link, meaning that they're killing those Eldar transports, which is a very, very big deal. Now, that never particularly came up in this tournament just because I didn't run into the Eldar, but that really does matter. You could say the exact same thing for Rhinos, or even actually a lot of times battle tanks like Predators, because if a Predator is T10, going from Strength 8 to Strength 10 is actually a huge break point on making your Plasma Inceptors able to pop them. So keep that in mind. Then, what we're looking at is the last thing that I use them for, which might be a little surprising. I use them quite often to block rapid ingresses. And I know this might sound like a waste of 120 points, but it really wasn't. Because many times, your opponent is going to be looking for that super, super clutch rapid ingress, where there's no way you can stop it, because you can't deep strike in your units to force them out, 9 inches further, because they have their units blocking your deep strikers from landing within 9 inches. But having the Inceptor's ability to coming with a 6-inch deep strike meant that I could get them in little pockets that could stop him from rapid ingressing into those positions that he desperately wants to rapid ingress. And this very oftentimes can be game defining. So I would use them specifically for that as well. I mean, I would of course still shoot with them, but that would be what the primary purpose of them in a single match. So they were freaking amazing. The Inner Circle Companions with Azrael, we spoke about it. They are the freaking hammer that comes down and just murderizes everything. And they're also shockingly durable when you stack the -1 to hit, -1 to wound, 4-up invuln, blah, blah, blah. The Scouts' entire purpose is to clear a landing zone for your Deathwing Knights. So what you do is you deploy the Scouts in such a way that your Deathwing Knights will be able to deep strike there if you go first. That's what you do. You make sure that your opponent can't put down infiltrators to stop your Deathwing Knights from going where they want to go. Now, if your opponent is savvy, they of course can block this. We all know that Warhammer is a game of countering counters, so it is possible that your opponent deploys first and blocks it. Never happened to me at the World Championships of Warhammer. So it's pretty sound strategy. Then I have 2 things that, if you see, I put a little chopping board next to them. They didn't get check marks; they got chopping boards, because they are on the chopping board right now. Both of these units actually performed quite well. I was actually really pleased with them. I just believe I can probably use those points to make the list a little bit more efficient, but I'm not sure how, and it's going to take me a little bit of time to discover that. So let's talk about the Solo Lancer. A lot of people know that I am hardcore on team 2 Lancers over 1 Lancer. Because 2 Lancers control the board, and they can win a shootout. 1 Lancer basically just gets popped and dies. So I use this Lancer a little bit differently, though. And what I did with him is I would only sit him in a little pocket where my opponent knows that if they move their transport, if they move their valuable tank, if they move their DDA or whatever into a certain lane, I can shoot them. And if they don't make their invulns, they die. So what it did is it discouraged aggressive movement from my opponent, because I never want my opponent to be the one who's determining the pace of battle. I always want to be the one determining the pace of battle. So it discourages my opponents moving into certain positions. And then what would happen is, on the go turn, when I'm dedicating both my Deathwing Knight, the ICC, and the Lion, I'm also going to bring the Lancer out, and I'm going to shoot with him, of course. But his main job is actually going to be to screw with my opponent's target prioritization in their turn. So when they're looking at my army, they're going to say, do I kill these Deathwing Knights? Do I kill the Lion? Crap, this guy's just going to spike his 3-up and 4-up invulnerable saves. Maybe I'm just going to go kill that Lancer, which also needs to die. So what happens then is your opponent shoots the Lancer, and that's like 4 to 5 anti-tank weapons that are no longer going into your Deathwing Knights or the Lion, which is a very big deal for skewing the map to keep you in the game just a little bit longer. So if they end up killing the Lancer, great. Now I don't have to absorb those shots with the rest of my army. If they don't kill the Lancer, great. Now I get to shoot with the Lancer a second time. It's kind of awesome. So that's how I use him. And then the Impulsor was a surprising unit. I liked having it, but I almost never used his transport capacity the entire game. Obviously, you have to start a unit inside of it. It would typically be the Combi Lieutenant. But I think the only time I ever jumped a unit inside of it was in the last game. I jumped the ICC inside of it. This could have been just because of the layouts we played, but I think what happened is just my unfamiliarity with Games Workshop terrain in general, because living over in Europe, we pretty much always play WTC terrain. I think I assumed I needed transports for my boys a little bit more than I actually did. So, that being said, the Impulsor was actually awesome. I used its firing deck on that one game. I used its transport capacities once. It also very often went and got all my secondaries. It's just valuable to have a T9 5-up invul and 11 wound body. So I didn't hate having it. I was just surprised that I didn't need its transport capacity. So those two are the units that I'm open to changing out. Then we had the Calidus, who was goated. She was amazing. She jumped all around the world. She got me tons of secondaries. She stopped my opponent from using their stratagems. Suddenly, throwing that one grenade just wasn't worth it anymore because it would cost 2. Suddenly, the fallback shoot and charge that the opponent wanted to use actually costed 2, and they couldn't afford it anymore. It was just so critical, and absolutely loved her. So guys, that's the list, and that's how the army worked. So I've got one more thing to really talk to you about. What worked and what didn't? The game plan worked. And what really didn't work is not sticking to the game plan. Oh no, my screen disappeared. Sorry. Is not sticking to the game plan. So the one match that was a really big deal, where I really got stomped in, that matchup was against Grey Knights, the Banisher Grey Knights. And I played a guy named Donovan, amazing player, loved him. Every second of that game was a super blast. Big shout out to him. But it was playing against an army that I just wasn't really familiar with, right? I wasn't familiar with how the Banishers operated. So what happened is that at one point he had taken 2 units of like the interceptors, which are these like 10-man squads of Grey Knights, and he had charged both of them into one of my Deathwing Knights. Now, if you watched like 10 minutes ago, rewind, you'll know that the way I respond to that is I Rapid Ingress the Lion, and then I heroic him, and then I murder face whatever charged in. But in this matchup, I didn't. And the reason why I didn't is because he had also put out like his Castellan Crow and Purifier squad, which is a very dangerous Death Star unit. And I Rapid the Lion to go handle them, which was a huge mistake. What I did is I played opposite of my game plan. And this was the only matchup where I got really beat, like bad beat. It's because I played opposite of my game plan. I tried to do something that my army wasn't designed to do. I split my forces in ways that I wasn't meant to do. And because of that, I got crushed. Had I actually just followed the game plan, because in review, and I was talking to Donovan about this as well, had we actually just followed the game plan, Rapid Ingress the Lion, heroic in, there's basically nothing that I could have done to lose the game had I actually just followed the game plan. So this is just reinforcing the lessons, guys. When you have a game plan for your army, stick to the game plan. If you do that, you're going to be great. There are 27 factions in this game, and each one of those factions have 5 to 6 sub-factions in between them. You could play 4 games every single week and not get enough experience to actually know what the other armies do. But you can know what your army does. And if you know what your army does and you focus on your army, you're going to smash Warhammer. So guys, hopefully this video is valuable for you. This is my Warhammer 40,000 World Championships review. Blessings. Hope you have an amazing day. Crump on. Bye-bye.